All right. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to an episode of the NFL coverage. Before we get started, y'all already know the dealio. Subscriber giveaway. Go ahead, subscribe, leave a comment for your chance to win. $50 on the first and 50th every month. This is coming out Christmas Eve. So if you see this, comment, subscribe, and you'll be entered for a chance to win $50 on Christmas Day. Outside of Christmas, because that's an extra one, it's the first 50th of every month. And New Year's Day, we are doing $200 on the first of the year on New Year's Day. So all you gotta do is subscribe to the YouTube channel right here, Ivy Talks Podcast, and leave a comment on any video, and you will be entered for a chance to win $200 New Year's Day. Make sure there is a make sure there's an email in your YouTube. That's how you be contacted. All righty. So we are right here on the precipice of pretty much getting into the playoffs. We have 2 weeks left, but going over week 13 Thursday, we had the Seahawks beating the Rams. Absolutely phenomenal comeback for the Seattle Seahawks. I believe they were erased a 17-point deficit. Let's come back and win. Great game by both teams. I mean, LA and Matthew Stafford played phenomenal. Sam Darnold was out there just throwing that thing. But Seahawks get the win 38-37 in OT. Saturday, we had the Eagles with a dominant win over the Commanders 29-18. We had the Sunday, Bills beat the Browns 23-20. Saints beat the Jets 29-6. The Vikings beat the Giants 16-13. The Bengals beat the Dolphins 45-21. Falcons beat the Cardinals 26-19. Steelers beat the Lions 29-24. We had the Bears beat the Packers in overtime. Another really good watch, another good, exciting game. Bears beat the Packers 22-16. They're in overtime. Chargers beat the Cowboys 34-17. Panthers beat the Bucks 23-20. The Titans beat the Chiefs 26-9. Also remember the Kansas City Chiefs were eliminated, and Patrick Mahomes tore his ACL, so he is obviously not playing. Jacksonville beat the Broncos 34-20. Remember, that was a game that we were talking about there for different Broncos last week. The Texans beat the Raiders 23-21, and the Patriots beat the Ravens 28-24. Obviously, when we were talking about the Ravens, I was talking about the Ravens against the Patriots. That was going to be a big test for the Ravens, and they stood the test against the Ravens. So now we're going to go into conference standings, AFC and NFC. Starting with the AFC West, we got the Patriots sitting there at number 1. Then there's Bills, Dolphins, Jets. AFC North, Steelers, Ravens, Bengals, Browns. Remember, we got that back and forth that we had kind of middle of the season. Now the Steelers are starting to get some separation from the Ravens. They're at 9-6. AFC South, Jaguars, Texans, Colts. Again, Colts were not only were they top of the AFC, but they're also the top of their division, the AFC South. Now I want to do it like this. There we go. Top of the AFC South, but now Jacksonville Jaguars at 11-4. Who would have thought, right? And then the Texans, they were the top defense in the league at 10-5. Colts sitting there at 8-7. They potentially might not even make the playoffs. We'll look at the playoff picture as we get going here. In the AFC West, we got Broncos still, even though they took that loss, still 12-3, still sitting up there with the Patriots, the 1-2 spot in the AFC. Chargers 11 wins there, 11-4. Chiefs, then Raiders there. In the NFC, which it's pretty much a done deal for the Cowboys, potentially, but in terms of winning their division, they're going to have to try to get off a record. But with that loss, it's very, very unlikely. I don't even think I don't remember off the top of my head if they're even in contention anymore. If they are, it's very, very low percentage. But we'll get into that a little later. Eagles, NFC East, Eagles, Cowboys, Commanders, Giants. NFC North, Bears, Packers, Lions, Vikings. NFC South, Panthers, Buccaneers, Falcons, Saints. And NFC West, Seahawks, 49ers, Rams, Cardinals. And again, the NFC West, very, very stout and tough division there, because Rams, 49ers both have 11 wins. Seahawks have 12 wins. So you're talking all 3 of these teams are probably going to make the playoffs from one division, just off a pure record, because there's only that team, these two teams are making their division. So it'll literally be, as of right now, to be Eagles, Bears, Panthers, Seahawks, and the next two in are going to be the 49ers and the Rams from the same division. So that division is holding stout. All right. Let's go over some statistical leaders real quick. I'm going to read some of these off from my app because they don't have all the stats I like to go over, but you'll see some of these guys here. So passing yards, Matthew Stafford at 4,179. Passing touchdown, Matthew Stafford has officially cracked that 40 mark. He's at 40 passing touchdowns. Receiving yards, Smith and Jigba at 1,637 receiving yards. Receiving touchdowns, Devontae Adams at 14. Rushing yards, James Cook passes Jonathan Taylor, which we'll talk about Jonathan Taylor a little bit. 1,532 rushing touchdowns, still Jonathan Taylor at 17. Interceptions, Kevin Byard at 6. And defensive tackles, Brooks at 169. Sacks, Myles Garrett at 22. Still looking to break the I think he's tied the sack record at 22. And so if he gets a half sack or a sack, that is going to break the record, I think. Actually, let me double check something real quick. Yeah, so it's 22 and a half sacks. So he's a half a sack away from tying, a full sack away from breaking the record. Now, let's also look at some statistical leaders in terms of teams. So number one offense, LA Rams, no surprise there at total yards at 396. Total defense, we have obviously Houston, who we've been talking about pretty much all year, at 272 total yards. Then Cleveland, Chargers. I guess I'll go top five for you guys. Top five offenses. You got Rams, then Dallas, Detroit, Bills, Bears. Those top four. We talked about Detroit, how they have potential. They can squeak in, but they're not putting it together in complete games, and that's why they're still on the outside looking in the playoffs. Top five defenses. You got Houston, Cleveland, Chargers, Broncos, and Minnesota Vikings. I've talked about the Broncos. They're key to the big reason for their success. Their offense is pretty decent. Their offense has gotten extremely better. They got a top five defense, and that always gives you a shot. Same with Houston. They're in the same boat where they're looking at making the playoffs. Passing yards, total pass, top five passing offenses: Cowboys, Rams, Detroit, Patriots, and 49ers. Team defensive leading in sacks: Broncos, Falcons, Browns. No surprise there with the Browns. Steelers and Seahawks. Top five rushing offenses: you got Bills, Bears, Ravens, Commanders, Rams. And teams and turnovers, Bears, Houston. And these are in terms of causing turnovers. So defenses that get turnovers. So this is good. The higher the number, the better. That's how many turnovers they have as a team. Bears, Houston, Rams, Jaguars, and Detroit. All right, before we get into the second half and before we get into some discussions, playoff pictures, MVP odds, et cetera, this podcast is brought to you by Ivy Fitness. Go to ivyfitness.com. We got workout programs. 30-day challenges are really big right now. Stay tuned for a 30-day challenge. The start of January to start the year off right. That is going to be discounted for you guys. Check that out. I might even throw it up there for free. But we got all kinds of, that's my bio. That's me, guys. That's me. But we also got workouts 3 days a week, 4 days a week, 5 days a week, things there that you can purchase. If you're looking for something very specific or you want a personalized workout program for your schedule and your specific needs of what you're trying to do, fill this out. Give me like your goals, how many days a week you want to train. If it's going to be all at the gym, some at the gym, some at the house, they come straight to me and I can create a workout program specifically designed for you, your needs, and your goals. With that, if you also, since we're talking workouts, if you also need supplements, bam, take it right here at finalformsubs.com. We got protein powders. We got creatine. We got stuff for your joints. Keep your joints. I actually take the joints. We got multivitamins, energy powders, apple cider vinegar to help with gut health, digestive, all that good stuff. Go to finalformsubs.com. Use promo code Strib, all caps, no space. Get 10% off on supplements. All right. Getting to MVP odds. Right now, MVP odds, Matthew Stafford, about a 68% chance of winning MVP. No surprise there. He is having one hell of a season, and he's still killing it, even though he's one of the longest tenured quarterbacks in the league. Then you got Drake May, their second, Josh Allen, their third MVP odds. Now, let's get again at this point in the season, discussions is pretty much playoff picture. So right now, Broncos still are at the number one spot, even though they took that loss. You got Patriots at number 2, Jacksonville Jaguars 3, and then you got Chargers, Bills are in. Steelers are the first team out. Now wait a minute. That's not right. That's not right. This must not be this can't be updated. How are the Steelers out if they're first in the AFC North? Wait a minute. Hold up, y'all. Hold up, y'all. Wait a minute. I gotta figure this out. Hold on. I don't think this is right. So I had to take a minute to understand what this is saying, what's going down here. Okay. These are the teams that have officially clinched their playoff spots, right? These teams, if the season were to end right now, would make the playoffs. So the reason why Steelers are here, even though they are first in their division, is because it's not clinched in the number one spot. Because if the Steelers lose their next two and the Ravens win their next two, then I think Ravens get the tiebreaker. That's why I think it's set up like that. So Steelers are still in as of right now. They got 91% chance because the Ravens are behind. But the Ravens, basically, the Ravens, if they win out and the Steelers lose out, Ravens get that spot. Steelers don't. But the Ravens have a 9% chance of doing that, is what it's saying. Same with Texans, right? Now, because the Texans, for for their division, they're obviously second in the AFC South. But if their record, if they keep basically if they win out and if the Colts win out and the Texans lose out, the Colts have a chance of the Colts would have would jump into that 7 spot or jump into this technically 8 spot, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 spot, and the Texans would be jumped out. Now the Colts have a 3% chance of doing that. They're expecting the Colts have a 3% chance. It's a 3% chance that the Colts win out and Texans lose out because obviously Texans play Las Vegas Raiders next, so they're probably winning that one. So that's why these Texans 90% chance that they're making it. Steelers is 91% chance. So that's why it's broken down like this. That was confusing me. These people are already in no matter what happens the rest of the season. They're already in, if that makes sense. So same with this. So in the NFC, we have Seahawks, Bears, Eagles, 49ers, Rams have clinched their spot there in. Panthers, again, if it were to end right, if the season were to end right now, they are in. But remember, Panthers, the Bucks are right behind them. If Panthers lose out, Bucks win out, Bucks end the season with 7 wins, Bucks get in. That's why they're here. They got a 57% shot. Now, 57%. So if Packers or Panthers bullshit the last 2 games of the season, Bucks are in. But Bucks, again, they need to win out. Now, who do they play? Bucks and Carolina play head to head. So this is big. Because if Bucks can win this one, then I believe Bucks have the tiebreaker over Panthers. So if the Bucks win and they go to 8-8, or if they go to 8-8 and Panthers go to 8-8, Bucks get that number one spot. Bucks are in. Right. Then Panthers, I think, would drop all the way out because Packers have a better record. They're 9-5, and Panthers would be 8-8 with that second spot in the NFC. So right here, this movement is important. Right here, this movement is big time important. And then all these teams are eliminated. So Dallas is done. I talked about earlier. Um, and the Colts. Now, I did want to mention so I was going to mention Jonathan Taylor earlier because he was like in the conversation at MVP, but he's dropped off because he started the season off strong. He's kind of had a very slow go the last few games, having under 100, having under 100 yards per game. Some of them were under like they bare like 73 yards. So he's kind of one been passed up in been passed up in rushing yards by James Cook. So is this breakdown for, let's move that right there. The breakdown for the playoff picture. So we got 4 teams, 2 in the AFC, 2 in the NFC, where it's literally going to come down to the last 2 games of the season, most likely the last game of the season as well. Now, yeah, these four right here on the bubble. These 4 are good if these 4 don't win. So these 4 don't win their next 2, it don't matter. They're in. If these 4 win their next 2, these 4 get the pressure is on if these 4 keep winning, right? So it's their positions to lose, right? And then they got to go take it right here. So we got these 8 that got to kind of still step up and play the games they need to play. So with that being said, let's move on to week 17, Thursday night Christmas. First of all, Merry Christmas, everybody. We got some Christmas games, and these are going to be exciting. We got Dallas Commanders, Dallas 7-point favorite. We got Broncos, Chiefs, Lions, Vikings. Then Saturday, we got a doubleheader, Houston at Raiders, and then we got Ravens at Packers. Again, this is very important for Ravens. If they want to get in there, they have to win this game. Steelers play the Browns. Steelers probably going to win that. Again, with Cleveland's defense, you never really know. But Steelers are probably winning that, so Baltimore has to win if they want it to come down to the wire at last game of the season. So this Sunday we got Buccaneers at Dolphins, Steelers at Browns, Saints at Titans, Seahawks at Panthers, Eagles at Bills. Interesting game there. Then we got Patriots at Jets, Cardinals at Bengals, Jaguars at Colts, Giants at Raiders, Bears at 49ers. Monday we got Rams at Falcons. Now, Coach Strib's game of interest for me, it's these right here. Colts, San Francisco, Lions, Pittsburgh, Ravens, New England, Bucks, Panthers. The number 1 for me is Bucks, Panthers. Because if the Bucks beat the Panthers, Bucks get the number 1 seed, they slide up. The only reason why Panthers are at that 4th spot is because they're leading their division. They're not there because of their record, because Packers have a better record. And Lions are right there having a better record. So if the Bucks beat the Panthers, and let me see who the Panthers played last week. Let me see. Or would you look at that? Panthers play the Bucks last game of the season too. So they got Panthers play. Yeah, Panthers play the Seahawks. No. Panthers, Tampa Bay. I'm tripping. Panthers play Seahawks week 17. And then week 18, Panthers play Bucks. What is that? Anyway, that's besides the point. That's besides the point. Even though this is confusing. Anyway, if Panthers lose their next 2 and the Lions win their next, if Panthers lose their next 2, Lions win their next 2, Bucks win their next 2. Obviously, they have to beat the Panthers. Panthers slide out. Bucks get in over the Panthers. Now, so it's going to be switched there. Then Lions went out. Packers lose. Lions can slide in. Oh, my gosh. Yeah, for the Lions, a lot has to happen. The Packers and the Panthers have to lose out, and the Lions have to win out. And they need the Bucks to win. So Bucks need to get that win. So we're talking very, very low probability for the Lions. Same with the Colts. Again, we got 3% chance, 9% chance. Bucks have a good shot at 57. 57 is pretty good. It's actually crazy. Bucks have a shot at 57. Panthers have a 43% chance. But the Panthers are sitting 1 in their division. But it's because the remaining schedule, did I get rid of it? The remaining schedule for the Panthers is they have to face the Bucks and they have to face the Seahawks. They're probably losing to the Seahawks. And if Bucks beat them that last game, then when it comes to, oh my God, My NFL standings. So, yes. So then Bucks move up here. Panthers drop out. Panthers drop out. And then you have potentially the Lions, but then it's going to come to how the Packers finish out because the Packers there tied. So Lions can get 2. They can go to 10-7. Packers need to lose. Actually, they only need to win 1 if the Packers lose out. So it depends on how much Packers win versus lose. Packers lose out. Lions win out. They move to that 3rd spot. They're in. They'd be literally in at that 8th spot. But the Panthers need to lose out. Bucks need to win out by beating the Panthers. Bucks get in. They'll get in the 7th spot, and the Lions will get in at the 8th spot. So a lot that has to go on for some of these teams to make it. So we'll see how this unfolds, and we'll obviously be keeping a watch on these last 2 games of the season. So that's going to do it for this episode of the NFL coverage. Happy holidays to everybody. Hope everybody enjoys some great football, some great basketball on Christmas Day. And we'll catch you guys next week.